Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your number one fat agent coming to you again today with another one of these FIFA 18 experiments. And I got a good one. Oh boy. With the massive transfer of Philippe Coutinho to Barcelona this January window, it got me to think, what would a team look like of the best January transfers of all time? Well, that are currently still playing in the game, but of all time. And of course, this is going to be a versus episode, so I'm going to go ahead and put that big money and put them up against the best summer transfers of all time. And you might be saying to yourself, now come on, don't be so silly. The summer transfers are always going to be the crazy ones. There's just more time to do it. There's more money being flown around. Neymar, Ronaldo, Bale, it's too easy. And to that I say, I'm Asian. And I do what Asians do, my homework. And I was blown away, absolutely fascinated by the amount of big name transfers that have been transferred in the January window. Now, obviously, they aren't going to be January exclusive. Qualify for the winter window team, it's basically at any time in your career, you were either bought, transferred, or loaned out during the winter window. And I'm going to tell you, after doing my research and assembling these two teams, they are really even, insanely so. So I'm going to do something a little bit different for the first time over here. I'm going to have you people in the Fat Asian Nation go ahead, vote up in the eye thingies right here. Who do you think will win just based off of what I told you? Summer transfer team or the winter transfer team? I'm not even going to show you the teams first. Just go ahead, vote up in the eye thingies right now, because I want to see this bias. It's going to be a clear bias. And if this is the type of experiment that gets your nipples all tingly, go ahead, smush those nipples into that like button right now, and subscribe for more FIFA 18 experiments. And people might be asking at home, yes, this is in fact real money. No, this is not YouTube money. I just sold my couch. Now let us begin by showing you the winter transfer team. Alright, let's go ahead and start off with the obvious. It's the man making all the headlines this January window, and that, of course, is Philippe Coutinho, recently transferred over to Barcelona during this January window. But also, I honestly forgot about this, he came in during a January window to Liverpool for something like crazy, like 8.5 million. That's some good change, Liverpool, I must admit. Apparently, Liverpool make their best transfers in January, because this next man came in from Ajax during the January window as well. I think for something paltry like 15 million. And what seems to be a pattern now was then sold on to Barcelona. So, good job, Liverpool. You're apparently a feeder team. Now, what's crazy is Luis Suarez is the highest rated striker currently in the game. And his strike partner on the January team is the second highest rated striker in the game in Robert Lewandowski. In fact, the majority, I'd say out of the top 10 best strikers in FIFA, like 7 of them are January transfers. Now, Lewandowski is admittedly a little bit of a stretch because he technically didn't transfer during the January window. He just signed a pre-contract during the winter window. But even without Lewandowski, let me go ahead and show you all the other strikers that you could possibly choose from. Edison Cavani, his first ever, I think, major team he signed with was Palermo, and that was a January signing. This is like the very start of his career. Higuain was signed to Real Madrid from River Plate during the winter window. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang joined AC Milan during the January window. I think this is at the start of his career as well. Kevin De Bruyne was a Chelsea casualty under Mourinho. He was sold during the January window to, I believe, Wolfsburg, before he was eventually sold back to Manchester City a couple summers later. Toni Kroos, 90 rated center mid. He was over at Bayern, and then he was temporarily loaned out to Bayer Leverkusen during the January window, and then eventually moved on to Real Madrid. Ivan Rakitic was originally at Schalke and then was sold to Sevilla during the January window. Eventually would go on to Barcelona. Marcelo, the best left back in the world currently, went over to Real Madrid from, I believe, Fluminense during the January window as well. You're going to see a lot of Brazilians on this list, I think primarily because I think their season ends right as the winter window starts, so it makes sense. I think the same thing happened with Gabriel Jesus, but this is just me all speculating. Matt Hummels initially joined Borussia Dortmund on a loan, then that became permanent, and then he was eventually transferred over to Bayern Munich, where he is now. Thiago Silva is another one of these Brazilians. As they went ahead and ended their careers in the Brazilian league, he moved on over to AC Milan, so thus he was signed in December. Then Joshua Kimmich was over at RB Leipzig before going ahead and joining Bayern Munich during the January transfer window. And then in net, it's Petr Cech. He trialed at Chelsea in 2003. there was an initial offer that was rejected, but then he eventually agreed upon a contract in February that would take in effect the following summer. So it's a little bit of cheating, but I'm going to put him on there. It was hard to find keepers, I'm going to admit that. And then the bench threw a lot more interesting January transfers. Like, technically, Dele Alli transferred over from NK Dons to Tottenham, but he was just loaned directly back to finish the rest of the season. Mesut Ozil started his career over at Schalke, but then went ahead and I think was sold to Werder Bremen during the January transfer window. And that's before he went on to move to Real Madrid after his phenomenal World Cup. Another casualty of the Mourinho regime, and that is Mohamed Salah. He was bought, I believe, in the 2014 January window from Basel, and then he was loaned out to Roma before he eventually made a permanent move there, and now all his history over at Liverpool. At his current trajectory, he will be signed by Barcelona in, I'd say, 2020. How? Juan Mata was a very famous panic buy by David Moyes during his January window. Subasic was signed to Monaco in 2012 during the January window. Marco Reus signed back to Borussia Dortmund in the January of 2012. Eric Bailly signed for Villarreal in the January of 2015. Alright, Bonucci is a really complex one. I don't even know if I can fully explain it. So he started his career at Inter, and then in January of 2007, 50% of his rights were sold to Treviso. He wouldn't be permanently moved over there until like the following summer, but technically the purchase did occur in January, or at least 50% of it occurred in January, and then the other 50% went to Pisa, which was a Serie B team at the side, which he was then loaned to. It's very complex. All you need to know, he was sold during the January. Nemanja Matic was very famously bought back by Chelsea during the January window of 2014, became one of the signings of the season, and an actually decent signing by Jose Mourinho. David Alaba, while he is a Bayern Munich product, he was loaned to Hoffenheim during a January window. Julian Draxler moved last January over to PSG. Bernardo Silva, a little bit more complex too. He was initially loaned to Monaco during the summer, but then his rights were officially sold over to Monaco the following January. Riyad Mahrez was signed from a second division French side during the January of 2014 by Leicester. Virgil van Dijk just got signed over to Liverpool. David Luiz was transferred not once but twice during the January window. His first time over at Benfica, and then a second time it would be over to Chelsea as his first stint at the club. I don't know what it is about these Chelsea center backs, but Gary Cahill was also transferred twice during the January window. The first time from Aston Villa over to Bolton, and then Bolton to Chelsea. And Juan Fran, who started his career over at Real Madrid, was then transferred over to Osasuna, and then during the January window in 2011, made his move over to Atletico Madrid, where he is now. So as you can see, a lot of people characterize the winter window as, you know, maybe a time for desperation, or maybe you're overbuying, and they don't really make that big of an impact. But you can see right here, there are some massive game changers, some of the best players in the world, and a ton of great strikers all made moves during the January window. So definitely keep your eyes peeled in these next coming weeks. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the summer transfer team. And to qualify for this, you've never been loaned or transferred during the January or winter window, and you're not a one club player. So it's a pretty large player pool. First off, it's the guy who made most of the headlines during the summer, and that, of course, was PSG's Neymar. Started over at his boyhood club of Santos, and then eventually would move on to Barcelona during the summer, and then, of course, this past summer moved on to PSG. Of course, he is not the highest rated left winger on this team. That, of course, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He started over at Sporting CP, and then, of course, he made his very famous move over to Manchester United, where he was bought for the time of about $12.5 million, which was the most expensive fee that had ever been paid for a teenager at the time. How times have changed. But we'll go ahead and we'll continue on. Bale went ahead and he made a transfer over from Southampton, and then very famously over to Real Madrid, following in the footsteps of Mr. Ronaldo. David Silva started his career over at Valencia, and then made a move in the summer to Man City, where he's been for the majority of his career. Luka Modric has kind of bounced around a couple of times, most noticeably from Tottenham over to Real Madrid. N'Golo Kante has also bounced around. I think he was in a League 2 French side as well before being signed to Leicester, and then he moved on over to Chelsea. Dani Carvajal, I believe, started in the Real Madrid youth system, was moved over to Bayer Leverkusen, and then moved back over to Real Madrid, all during summer windows. Sergio Ramos started his career over at Sevilla, and then during a summer window transferred over to Real Madrid. Giorgio Chiellini started over at Livorno, then moved over to Fiorentina, and then moved over to Juventus, where he is now. And then Alexandro has made a number of moves in his career, most notably from Porto to Juventus last season. They've all been in the summer window. And I mean, I could go through the list of everyone else here, but you're just going to have to take my word for it. David De Gea, Hazard, Griezmann, Lukaku, Godin, Alba, Sanchez, Piqué, Dybala, Buffon, Thiago, Verratti, Robin, Pogba, Walker, Boateng, Dani Alves. They all been through a number of transfers, especially like Robin's been all over the place. They all occurred during summer. So as you can see, you guys have already voted, but at first glance, you might have thought, man, of course the summer transfers are gonna be way better, way bigger names than the winter window. But now that I've laid the two teams out in front of you, can you really honestly say which one is gonna win? This is going to be arguably the hardest prediction that I've ever had to do. And you guys who are familiar, you guys already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these two teams, we're gonna put them into a simulation, sim all the way to the end of the season, and see which one finishes higher in the table. It doesn't matter if they don't necessarily have to win the league, it's just whoever finishes higher in the table, that's it. Now I sit on July 1st of 2017, and what we're gonna do right here is what we always do. We're gonna sim it all the way up to January 1st and see where we land at the halfway point. And at this point I have to go ahead, make a prediction. If I get that prediction right, well, nothing bad happens to me. Probably go eat myself some McDonald's, have a jolly good time. But if I get it wrong, there is a forfeit that I have to do. I think I'm running on, I believe this is 7 or 8 in a row that I have not had to do this forfeit. And that is eat my dinner exclusively from the dollar store. And as I said in the previous experiment, that is not a big deal, because if you guys don't know, I'm currently in the process of moving. I've sold my fridge, I've sold my couch, I've sold most of my furniture. I have nowhere to put food, so if I'm ever gonna eat at the dollar store, now's the time. So with that being said, Smartman still takes the summer transfer windows. I think they're just a smidgen, just a hairline above the quality that is the winter transfers. But I just have a gut feeling. I just have a gut feeling about this. I think the winter transfers are gonna take this. I'm going to go with the winter window right here, and I might live to regret this now that I'm really thinking about it. But anyway, let's go. Let's see it to the halfway point right here. Take it away, Time Wizard.
Go, Time Wizard!
All right, we're in January 1st of 2018. Happy New Year's, everybody. Let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats at the halfway point. And it is Rakitic of the winter team with 13 goals that leads everyone in the Premier League. Not to be outdone, Alexis Sanchez has 9, Kevin De Bruyne has 9 as well. Let's keep on going down the list. Aguero has 7, and that is all. Marching over to assists, Tottenham's Christian Eriksen has the most with 10, and then it is a steep drop off. We do see Aguero with 5 over here. 2 Manchester United players, which are the winter window, in David Alaba and Dele Alli, both have 5 apiece. Robin also has 4, and Alexis Sanchez has 4. Clean sheets, we see that Kasper Schmeichel is on top with Leicester City, but Subasic is tied with him and the winter squad with 10 apiece. Not to be far outdone, Manuel Neuer has 8 on the list, and then you can see all the way down there that Petr Cech has also contributed 3, which means that they should technically have considerably more clean sheets total than the summer squad. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table. What the fuck? Okay. All right, still, you might be a little bit shook here because neither the Man City side or the Man United side, neither winter nor summer window is atop a league. In fact, it is Spurs and goddamn Chelsea. Although it's not by far. Technically, the summer windows are on top. They're only 2 points behind the top of the league, while Manchester United and the winter window are 4 points off of it. As you go ahead and you take a look at the winter stat line, it's actually impressive that they aren't on top of the league. You can see right here that they have scored 37, which is only good enough for 3rd best in the league, but they've only allowed 9 goals the entire season. That defensive record is staggering. But not to be outdone, the summer transfers are absolutely banging in the goals. They're the only team that has eclipsed 40 goals scored. So really, it is anyone's game at this moment. Let's go ahead, let's take it to the end of the season and see if I'm gonna be eating at the dollar store.
Go, Time Wizard!
All right, We're on June 1st of 2018. Let's go over to the player stats right now. And Rakitic, what the hell, man? What sauce have we been putting into Rakicic's food? Because he wins the Golden Boot with 21 goals. Christian Eriksen of Tottenham goes ahead and gets second place with 18, but then it's Kevin De Bruyne coming in with 17. Wow. And in fact, it's not all the way down until 9th place do we see a Manchester City, aka a summer transfer window team player, and Alexis Sanchez with 13, and that is it. Oh wait, no, Cristiano Ronaldo had 11, tied for 14. For assists, Christian Eriksen takes the golden ball, and then we keep on going down the list. Manchester City is the first one to show up on the list. Alexis Sanchez has gotten himself 7, although that is tied with Dele Alli, who also has 7, and then De Bruyne and Alaba both have 6 apiece, while Robin and Ronaldo both have 5 apiece. Let's move over to clean sheets. Kasper Schmeichel does go ahead and win the Golden Glove, but it's Subasic of the winter transfers who gets 13. Neuer's right behind him with 12. We're going to go down the list right here. Petr Cech contributed 6, so combined Subasic had 7 more than what we are seeing from Man City right now. So the stats would say that the winter transfers are going to be higher, but we're going to find out right now. Let's go. Oh, I knew it! I knew it, baby! I am king of the FIFA 18 experiments, bro. All logic pointed. What is up with this again? This is the 3rd experiment in a row where an uber-stacked side cannot even get 2nd place in one of these sims. Did they change something in the algorithm or something, man? Because the summer transfer team, the team that consists of Ronaldo, Neymar, freaking what? Griezmann, half of the biggest names in the world, could not beat a Chelsea that doesn't even have Eden Hazard, or Cahill, or Conte. Holy shit. And this is super surprising. A closer look at the stats go ahead and show you that the roles kind of reversed. Manchester City, or the winter team, was the way better defensive team in the first half, and Manchester United, or the summer transfers, were the offensive juggernaut. It switched. At the end of the season, you can see that Manchester City finished with 81 goals for and allowed 26, which was still 2nd best in the league. Manchester United in the summer transfers, nothing to shake a stick at, scored 69 goals and had the best defensive record in the league, only allowing 23. But hey man, I was trying. I went ahead and I took a risk. I went with the weaker team, but something in my gut, and let me tell you, I got me a big gut. Something in there told me that this winter team was gonna go ahead and pull it out. So, to the people who want to go ahead and have me eat the dollar store, I'm gonna have to tell y'all, deal with it. And yeah, that is gonna go ahead and conclude this outrageous experiment. If you want to go ahead and check out another one of my experiments, go ahead and click over here where I bid South America up against the best of the world has to offer, which has an equally ridiculous result. And then if you want to go ahead and get caught up with all the best moments from 2017 from the Fat Asian, go ahead and click over here, Diggs. Also, please, the initial link down below is going to be to my Discord. Got a couple new mods in there. They are running the shit out of it, so go ahead, join up and be a part of the community, get all caught up on yours truly. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me and BMOnus. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Remember to stay yourself, stay humble. Until next time, stay chubby.